Hello, and welcome to our Cerenade video. In this video, we will go over enhancements made to the payment gateway, in which you can now select either processing invoices using your operating account or your trust account from your credit card or ACH merchant. With this update, you can now process invoices and trust accounts and choose the desired location of where you want those funds to go in your connected payment gateway. We will first show you how you can set up default settings where you can dictate where those funds can be automatically directed to, how you can override these default settings when creating an invoice, and lastly, giving caseworkers permission to override which accounts to send those funds when processing an invoice. Let us log into the caseworker portal. Before we begin, to use this feature, you must be signed up to billing and credit card processing, as credit card processing allows you to accept credit card payments from either LawPay or PayPal, which will be discussed in this video. We will first want to show how to apply default settings. Let us go into the admin tools by clicking on the settings icon on the top right and proceeding to click on administrative tools. Once in the admin tools, let us go into the application settings. In the application settings, click on the payment gateway, and you will now see two drop-down options: authorization and default accounts. In authorization, you will more than likely already have your LawPay or PayPal linked. If you do not, here is the area to link that account. It is important to note that you must be signed up to either LawPay or PayPal to link your account. Once connected, you will see your LawPay or PayPal payment card and ACH accounts. More than likely, your accounts were automatically added, but if you do not see them, you can click on Add Payment Card Account. You will see your available payment card destinations from your credit card merchant. The same with ACH. You will click on Add ACH Account, and you will see all available ACH accounts from your merchant. You have now authorized these accounts to be options when accepting payment. The last thing to do here is add default destinations when processing payment on an invoice or trust account transaction. To the right, you will click on Default Accounts, and you will now see a few drop-downs. These drop-downs are different processing areas where you can select a default account destination. For example, in the first option, you will see payment card account for invoice payment. If I select one of the accounts and click on Save, any new invoice will now have that account as the destination when I process an invoice using a credit card. You can set default payment destinations to payment on invoices using a credit card, payments on trust accounts using a credit card, ACH transactions for invoices, and ACH trust account transactions. Once adding your defaults here, this will now reflect on any newly created invoice or trust account should you want to apply a payment with payment card or ACH. Now, even though we added these defaults, you can still manually select payment destinations when you create an invoice. However, not all users have this setting enabled. It is up to the administrator to give permissions via the access rights. Let us first show you how you can still manually override where those transactions will go inside the caseworker portal, and then show you how you can enable a caseworker to have those privileges. Let us click on the settings icon and click on Caseworker module. From the Caseworker module, let us go into the client's profile and create an invoice. Let us click on Billing and proceed to click on Invoices. From here, we will click on Add Invoice. For this example, we will create an invoice without a case, and in doing so, we'll be able to add invoice items. You will now see your billing item listed, the ability to select a default template, and a new area where we'll list payment card account and ACH account. If you set a default inside the admin as we previously did, you will see it listed here by default. However, if you wish to change the account you wish the funds to go to, you can click on the drop-down menu to the right and be able to select a new destination. Once confirming the options, including selecting a payment type for your client, you will click on Add, and the invoice has been created. You can finalize it by clicking on Save. By either sticking with the default payment card or ACH account or changing it, should the client make a payment with either, those funds will go into the desired account. Should you want to change its destination of an unpaid invoice at any point, you can click on the invoice, click on the Select drop-down menu to the left and select Settings. Here you will see the option to change the destination of the payment card or ACH transaction. Not only do you now have the option to change the payment gateway on invoices, but you also can now change the payment gateway on Trust Account transactions. If we click on the Trust Account tab on the right, it will take us into the Trust Account. Should I want to change the payment gateway destination, I can click on the Settings button. It will list your default payment card and ACH transactions for trust accounts we set earlier. But same with invoices. Should I want the funds to go to a different account, I can update that here. Once saved, the funds on the next transaction for this client will go to the desired account. Now, as mentioned earlier, not all users will have this setting enabled of changing the payment gateway destination. To enable them, let us click on the Settings button on the top right and click on Administrative Tools, taking us into the home page of the Admin Tools. Then click on Users. Locate the user you wish to enable the setting and click on the Select drop-down menu to the left and click on Edit. You are now inside the caseworker's profile. Scroll down to the Access Right area and you will now see an option to allow someone to update invoice payment card and ACH options, as well as giving someone the ability to update payment card and ACH options when adding funds to the trust account. Once enabled, click on Save up top, and the user now has these settings enabled. Before we end this video, a few notes. With the update, a user must now have to choose where the payment card and ACH transaction will go to. If you have defaults, you don't have to worry about where it will go, as your default will automatically be listed. However, if no defaults are listed and no destination is selected, the ability to accept a payment card or ACH transaction will be disabled until a destination is selected, which can be done in the settings. Also, when using the processing payment area of the software, because different invoices can potentially have different payment gateway destinations, we have limited payment via credit card to one invoice at a time. This concludes our video on the update on credit card and ACH processing.